We have a special guest in
studio. Yes.
You've seen him all over the Fox Sports 1 airwaves, been doing a great job. Kendrick Perkins, NBA champion Kendrick Perkins. What's up, man?
What's up, Chris, Rob? Thanks for having me on, man. It's a pleasure.
It's great to have you in here, man. It's great to have you in here.
And you have been doing your thing, and Chris and I, we always do that because a lot of guys, that former athletes, come through, and, we've been doing this our whole lives.
Right.
And everybody doesn't get it. Everybody can't do it.
Right.
You can do it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thanks a lot.
For real. And so we're going to look at some of your tweets.
Okay, cool.
And go out there. Rob G, can you read? You had a tweet about Steph and LeBron. You obviously were a teammate of LeBron's in Cleveland, so you know of what you speak. But read the tweet that Kendrick Perkins put out.
No,
at Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, it's at Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, that's it. That's the handle.
At Kendrick Perkins. So go ahead and read the Steph tweet.
Well, this first one here is a quote from what he said on Speak for Yourself on FS1. They were talking about comparing LeBron James and Steph Curry. Here's what Perk said, quote, "We're not about to say championships define your legacy. This man is arguably the greatest player next to Michael Jordan to ever play the game of basketball. This is disrespectful to King James in the utmost," end quote.
All right. So tell us why you feel that way.
Because I'm with you, Perk. I mean, God.
Rob, but he's not. Rob is biased.
No, I'm not
biased. He's biased against light-skinned brothers.
No, that ain't it.
That's real talk.
That ain't the case.
Real talk. Everybody knows
hey, look, on my Twitter, I always say, who you rolling with tonight when Golden State play? Team light-skinned or the Portland Trail Blazers, right? But, I mean, to me, man, certain things just you can't compare. I mean, we gotta respect LeBron's greatness. I mean, it's happening. I mean, right before our eyes. I mean, the body of work that this guy done put in and the accolades. I mean, everything speaks volumes for itself. I mean, he's gonna be the only guy to probably end up with 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. That's unheard of. And at the end of the day, when you start talking about individuals, like far as playing basketball, individual, to me, winning the championship is a team thing, right? Okay. Far as when you come to individual, talking about greatness, far as an individual, that means what he's doing individually on the court. And no knock on Steph Curry, but guys are really light years behind LeBron. Let's be realistic. Like, the things that he does, we probably won't never see this in another lifetime.
Well, you played, as I said, with LeBron. You also played with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City. How do you compare those two?
Well, KD grew up a lot. I mean, when I first got to Oklahoma City, Kevin was just a scorer.
Was he always sensitive back then? He a little sensitive.
He a little sensitive.
Okay.
I think we all a little sensitive at some point, right? Some things are rough our feelings.
Right.
But I watched him grow into, especially the season that he had the MVP, the year he won the MVP when Russ got hurt.
Right.
He did more than just score. He actually was the point guard on our team at that time, even though Reggie Jackson on paper was the point guard, but Kevin Durant did most of the ball handling. And I think he don't get enough credit for his decision making and making guys better.
Right, he's a playmaker.
He is a playmaker. Right. He's a good rebounder. And since he's been in Golden State, he's turned into a elite defender. I mean, I watched him throughout the playoffs, and between him and Draymond, when they played the 5, they completely took Capella out the game.
Right.
Now Capella is listed probably, you could make an argument right after Joel Embiid. He's probably the second best.
Could have been an all-star.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have got hurt. So, I mean, KD probably is going to go down as the best scorer of all time. I mean, the way he could score the ball, we probably never see this in a lifetime. It's nothing that he can't do.
Let's go back to LeBron. And this year,
right,
I thought LeBron really took a hit. Not just that they didn't make the playoffs, but just the body language. Seemed like he was more caught up with doing a lot of other things. He publicly went after Anthony Davis. His young teammates felt jilted.
Right.
What did you make of this year? Because it just seemed like especially his body language in certain times just didn't fit. And I don't know what happened because everybody assumed they would make the playoffs when you get LeBron James, and I get it.
Right.
He was injured a little while, but they still had a chance to make the playoffs.
Right.
Were you shocked that when he came back and when they had a chance to make it, they didn't make it?
Well, you got to understand, too, Bron is human. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not perfect. But his number still was, still up there. But at the end of the day, I think, with Bron, I think he knew that I think he knew what he was getting himself into coming to the Lakers. And when they was rolling before he got injured and everybody was saying, oh, man, y'all good, y'all could be a contender, Bron came out and said, hold on, we're not going to move too fast. This is a process. So I think with Bron, I think he didn't really gel with a lot of guys for the simple fact that he knew it possibly could be moves, or this wasn't a team that he was going to be contending for a championship with. And to be honest with you, he didn't go publicly with the Anthony Davis
No, he
thing.
did. He went on. Didn't he go on the shop and say that he wanted?
He was asked by Dave McMenamin.
Oh, that's right.
Like going into a game or like in the hallway or something,
about playing
with Anthony Davis, and he just said, "Oh, that'd be awesome." Yeah,
Right.
of course. Who would?
But I'm just saying when there was a lot of young guys on that team, and they looked at it, and then all the rumors came out that they were going to trade the whole team
Right.
to try to get Anthony Davis. That's why I was looking at it, because they seemed to react to him differently after that whole thing.
Well,
ended
it went
and
way
the
beyond
trade, right?
his statement. Like, I mean, all the news was getting out who they were offering, and you can't blame all that on LeBron. That's
right.
for sure.
But my thing is that, right, it's a business. So at the end of the day, I've been in trade rumors, and it hurts. We're human. But, it's still a business. And if you go down the line and ask any one of those guys if they was a GM, would they trade themselves for Anthony Davis? They have to be honest and say yes. But I think this was new for Bron, too, just moving to Los Angeles, period. With all the businesses he got going on,
Right.
Different production things and stuff like that. So this was an adjustment period for him also. I mean, being in Cleveland, the last 4 or 5 years, a small market moving to a bigger market, this was something new for Bron also.
It's the Odd Couple. We're joined by NBA champion Kendrick Perkins, who is here in studio. Let's go back to Steph. Andre Iguodala said the other day that he's the second best point guard ever behind Magic
But
Johnson.
they left out the point guard in the story, so people were like,
some people thought he meant player,
second
but
best
he
player
cleared it
ever,
up.
right.
But he cleared it up. I do agree. Steph is the second best point guard ever.
I don't.
Do
Isaiah
you think,
Thomas.
how high do you think, can he become a top 10 player of all time? Can he surpass Magic Johnson as the best point guard of all time?
I think he's already there.
So you think he's past Magic?
No, I don't think he's past Magic yet, but I think he's a top 10 player of all time.
Wow. Okay.
And
Top 10?
Yeah.
Can we? Hey, Rob G, you got the list?
I mean,
who's he knocking off the list? Let's just throw the list out at you. I want you to hear who the top 10 are, and I want to know who's coming out of that.
Who's making this list?
No, but
Right, who's making the list, right?
No, but I want to
He
give
got
you.
his top 10. You can't just throw an arbitrary
Because
list at
listen,
it.
right, if you go say that, if you go say he's the second best point guard of all time, right? You just said that, right?
No, I don't think he
what
is.
you
I
think-
think
where
he's
you put
third.
him?
I think
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas is ahead of him. Isaiah
So you
Thomas.
got Oscar Robertson fourth?
So you taking?
Oh no, I'm talking about
No
when it comes to
disrespect.
no. I'm saying when it comes to KD. I mean
Steph. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Isaiah's
Where do you rank Oscar Robertson?
yeah, he probably would be behind him.
But see, this is the
Only
pro-
because of the number of teams
I
and
put
the
him
way they
ahead
play.
of
This is the problem.
Isaiah.
This is why I rank Steph so high, right? For the simple fact that Stephen Curry changed the game of basketball.
Thank you.
And when you have a guy that changes the game of basketball, it's no debate.
Will
And he's
Chamberlain
winning.
changed
Yeah, but he's
basketball.
winning more than
seen,
Will.
Come on, nobody's seen Will.
Nobody changed
No,
basketball.
we're not about
And
to
that's
do
why
it.
Will gets his
We're not-
props, even though he
Yeah.
only won 2 titles.
Right.
Steph is winning. He got the numbers, and he changed the game
He
of basketball.
changed the game of basketball. Steph changed the game to the point where the whole league changed. To the point where
It's a
centers-
copycat league. I get it.
I'm mad at Steph because if he wouldn't have came in the league,
wouldn't
I
be-
would still have a job. So he changed the whole formality of how basketball. You got to give him some. type of credit.
I'm not giving him any credit, but I think it's a little high. Rob G, the list you read yesterday, I just want to hear this, and I want to I just want to see.
You can't.
What was this? No, I'm just
pigeonhole Perk like that.
I'm not.
Because this is just an arbitrary
Where's
list.
the list from?
So this list is compiled by Clutch Points. It's an aggregate of all the other publications,
like ESPN,
Like everybody.
15,
Okay.
So they average them all out.
Basketball Reference.
so
whatever.
So it's Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant are the top 10.
Okay, so
So Steph would go in there. Who would fall out of that list?
so with no disrespect,
No, I'm just asking.
I would probably have to take out Bill Russell.
I thought about people gonna say that's crazy because of the 11 rings, but
Right.
Rob, you always bring up 8 teams, 10 teams, 12 teams, whatever it was in the league.
I've
Right.
always said no, and I've always been consistent. That is a factor because the Celtics were good, and if you go back to the 50s and 60s like that,
When guys
All-
were dribbling with one
right?
hand.
You know what? And
if you took guys of that
Right.
day and put them in the league today as they were,
Right.
none of them would be. But I think if you
Thank
give
you.
them the benefits of today, weight training,
Yeah, it's totally
nutrition,
different.
charter flights, better equipment, then the great players like Bill Russell would be he'd find a way to be a great player. Bob Cousy, I think, would find a way to be a great player today. But not as they were.
Well,
No.
no disrespect, but come on now. Like, they was dribbling the ball with one hand. That, like, are y'all serious? Like,
No, but I'm just saying that's evolution.
though. That's evolution.
Right.
People
Right.
used to wear Converse,
Chuck
Chuck
Taylors.
Taylors. I mean, could you imagine playing a basketball game
no,
in
I
those?
couldn't imagine.
Especially
That's-
low
right.
top
Low,
Chuck Taylors.
low top with
look-
no support on the bottom and canvas.
Bill
But we
Russell shot 44% from the floor.
As a center. Yeah,
you know,
that's
you know
all.
what Bob Cousy shot?
What?
38%.
Right.
That's his lifetime shooting percentage.
Right.
38%.
Well, what is Steph Curry shooting?
He shooting better than that from
Steph
three.
Curry.
From three. Look, I mean, look, at some point as we go on and on and on, some of the old legends, because the
moved out
players
the
are
way.
better today.
Absolutely.
They're more athletic. They shoot better and they handle
Yeah,
better.
but I'm also one of these guys that don't believe that everything that happens today is better than anything
No,
that happened.
I'm not
and
saying
a lot of
everything
people,
is.
a lot of people are in that world. If it happened yesterday, it's better. Everything's not that because those guys had to play under unique circumstances. That guys
Three
here,
straight,
that
back-to-backs and all
yeah,
that.
train rides, all kinds of stuff
right.
that they didn't play. You know, you got luxury compared
I
to
agree.
what they had to do. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
Okay.
that's why I typically say the superstars of any era would be at least stars in every era.
And you know, when I
Because
first
you give
started
them the
covering the NBA, we talked about this before you got here. I started covering the NBA in 1987. I used to be on commercial flights with NBA players who were sitting in coach because there were only 4 first-class
Can
seats.
you imagine having to sit
mean,
next to him on a 5-hour
I know
flight?
that's not good. I know.
All right, LeBron may not be participating in these playoffs, but Giannis is. And Perk says he's been getting exposed a little bit by Kawhi and the Raptors. He'll explain next. It's the Odd Couple with NBA champion Kendrick Perkins on Fox Sports Radio. NBA champion Kendrick Perkins on this Worship Wednesday.
Kendrick doesn't even know
We
we're
bring
going
the spirit up
Give me
in
that.
here,
Give me
too.
that right
He-
there. Pass me that.
He
over
like
there.
that. I know he like that.
That.
What? This?
You didn't know we passed the plate when it's a Worship Wednesday. Where's the money?
Yeah, they got the spiritual play in there.
A full tithe, please.
That's right. You didn't know what I was
that was
doing,
good. That was good. Kendrick, Rob G, read Kendrick's tweet. Was it a tweet or just something he said on Speak for Yourself?
This is another quote from Kendrick Perkins on FS1.
All right.
Talking about this Bucks Raptors series, talking about Giannis. He said, quote, I feel like right now Giannis is getting exposed just for the simple fact that Kawhi's guarding him. He's not even 100%, and he's making it tough on Giannis.
All right.
Does he need a jump shot? What we need? What's going on?
You know he needs a jump shot. And the deeper you get into the playoffs, you know, the tighter things go. So you got to go outside your body and be able to make plays and do things outside your comfort zone. Now, mind I tell you, he did have, 25?
25 last night?
But it wasn't like it was.
He didn't dominate the game.
he didn't-
25 points in a 20-point blowout.
Right.
You know
He
what I
didn't
mean by-
impose his will.
No.
And at the end of the day, I think the Raptors have figured something out. by putting Kawhi on them, and then Serge Ibaka and Gasol has been doing a great job on the help side.
Serge has been playing great.
He's been playing excellent,
right?
And so I just feel like, Giannis is great. He played well in the regular season, and I also see a mental fatigue
on Giannis.
Okay, because for the simple fact he's never been this far, and when you never got out of the first round, you don't know. Like, it gets to the point where it's exhausted. You already done went through an 82-game season. Now, first round, second round, emotionally, now you're in the conference finals, and it gets tougher. And nowadays, it's not about even schemes or X's and O's. It's a willpower. It's about who wanted the most.
Did that happen to Damian Lillard as well?
I think so.
Because he wasn't the same guy.
He's never been this far.
In
the Western Conference Finals, he was a no-show.
I think it happened to the entire Portland team.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at it, because if you look at Golden State right now, they look like they could play 3 more rounds of basketball.
They do.
And it's the point of being experienced. For the simple fact, look at Draymond. He wasn't an all-star this year, right? But he knew what he had to do to get to this level. So towards the end of the season, what did he do? He dropped 25 pounds. He knew what was coming about. And guys who never been this far, they don't know. They just think, oh, it's just hooping. Nah, it's exhausting. It's traveling. Okay, we got to go back to Milwaukee and play tomorrow. We got to make sure, all this come into effect.
Yeah, I think look, I voted for Giannis MVP, and I think that was the right vote. I think he'll probably win. But even then, you could see obviously the weakness is 3-point shooting, jump shot, but he also doesn't have any moves.
Right.
Which isn't unique for a 7-footer, but he always, when he drives, it's that spin move, and that's it.
Or the Euro step.
Right. Yeah, or the Euro step. You're right. So I think all these things are catching up with him as you're right. And he'll learn. LeBron, his first finals, San Antonio zoned him up to a degree and forced him to shoot the jumper, and he got exposed to a degree. So, yeah, that makes sense. So who you got winning the series?
Right now, I think it's in Toronto hands. Because I believe Toronto should have won Game 1 from the get-go. And I think they knew that. Game 2, yeah, they got blown out, but I think Toronto is comfortable playing in Milwaukee. And we all know whoever really gets Game 5 pretty much going to win the series.
Right.
Yeah, that's a turning point.
It's going to be interesting.
But they battle back. And the thing I'm impressed by Toronto is, Kawhi didn't play that great. And they wanted a blowout in a big game.
Right. Well, they have – the difference is that, like I said, the experience factor. I mean, you got to look at it. Serge Ibaka done been to the finals. He done played in hundreds of playoff games. Marcus All done played in plenty of playoff games.
So they got that experience. All right, couple. Kendrick Perkins in studio with us. Visit Geico.com for a free rate quote. And we are still joined by NBA champion Kendrick Perkins. He's dropping the knowledge, so we're glad to have him. All right, Kendrick, we're going to move on to Kevin Durant, one of your former teammates. And all season long, people have been saying, and I've talked to executives, players, coaches around the league. Everybody is saying he's going to New York. And this week there were reports. Mark Stein wrote that the Clippers are really strongly in the hunt. Rich Kleiman, KD's agent, said that he has no idea yet where he's going. It's 100% wide open. And you, I know, have said on one of the shows on FS1 that the Clippers need to be in strong consideration for KD. So where do you think it stands as far as, I know none of us know exactly, if you had to rank, say, the top 3 in order of where you think he'll end up, what would you say?
I would have to say, in my order, I would have to say Clippers, Brooklyn, New York.
Wow. So Clippers number 1.
Yeah.
Brooklyn over the Knicks.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so tell us why.
Well, to me, I think, first of all, KD has always loved Doc Rivers, all right? He's always asked me questions about him, praised him. And in my opinion, the Clippers have done a complete turnaround for us with their organization, and their front office and stuff like that. And their franchise that, to me, if I'm KD, I would want to play for.
And you mentioned Doc Rivers. That might, other than winning the championship with Boston, that might have been his best coaching job this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Great
Absolutely.
job.
I mean, he had a wonderful year in Orlando too that year.
Right, when he was Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Or Coach of the Year. I mean,
Right.
Coach of the Year.
And Doc actually told me this. He said this was the second best team to his 08 team that he had this year.
Wow.
And he had fun coaching those guys. But think about it, man. You have Winger that's in office, Lawrence Frank. You have the Jerry West who's right there too,
Consultant,
and
right?
Consultant, and you have a great owner who's invested into the team. Let alone with Doc Rivers, you have Coach Rex, you have Sam Cassell, you have a nice coaching staff, and also the team is not bad. And I mean, you still in LA in a big market, and I think to me, I would think if I'm KD, I would really consider that being one of my number one options.
Here's my thing, and that makes sense to me. It didn't sound like the Clippers are totally out of the realm of being able to land him. But Chris and I talk about this all the time. KD, because he went to the Warriors and they had already won a championship, and if he's able to go to the Knicks, who haven't won a championship since 1973, and turn that around, he would get the cred of his entire career. Not only did he go to Golden State that already won, and he won 2 Finals MVP and 2 championships, say if they don't win this year. Say he won those 2. But then to turn around a hapless organization that can't get it out of its own way over the last 35 years or whatever it's been, and to win a championship in New York
would be beautiful.
Would that not be an ending chapter to the guy's career?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm being realistic, but, you hear all the talks, right? So, obviously guys don't know what Kawhi want to do, right?
Right.
But obviously he probably want to come back home and play in L.A., right? Clippers might be a choice for him. But do Kawhi love being the superstar and love all the attention? I don't think so. So at the end of the day, you attract Kawhi, then KD may look and say, or you get KD, Kawhi come. That's a nice combo.
Do you have any idea how KD would feel about playing with Kawhi?
I think KD loves Kawhi. I mean, I think KD would be able to be the number one option and be that guy, and Kawhi could be number 2 and just play basketball and be the quiet Kawhi that we know. He don't want to be a leader or that guy of a team. He just want to go out there and play basketball, go home, and mind his business. Well, Kevin Durant, you got the superstar in him, which Kawhi is coming into his own. But it still would be nice to see KD in New York with Kyrie Irving, so say. That would be beautiful, too.
Well, let me ask you this about New York, because we both worked in New York, covered the Knicks. And in New York, fans think the Knicks are like this huge brand, and they're the equivalent of the Lakers and the Cowboys and the Yankees, and everybody wants to play for them. I grew up in the Midwest, and I'm like, the Knicks were nothing to me.
Right.
You grew up in Texas. Obviously, most players in the league didn't grow up in New York. Do players around the league look at the Knicks as some special? Like Rob was like, if you win it in New York, it's going to be bigger than anywhere. Do players in the league view it that way?
I didn't, to be honest.
No, I can understand why you didn't, because they've been bad for a long time.
But I'm just saying, like, for example, they'd be like, oh, they the mecca of basketball, and like, oh, it's Madison Square Garden, and then like you get there and you like, this it? Like
what? Now wait a minute. You going to diss Madison Square Garden?
You're right, Perk. Madison Square Garden is not a great arena.
Yes, Madison Square Garden. I'm not going to sit here as a New Yorker and act like Madison Square Garden is a dump, because it ain't no dump.
How's it great? They renovated it. That's made it nicer.
Yes, but through my years of playing there,
it wasn't renovated.
It was not the best place.
Madison Square Garden is where it's located, the energy of the city, all the other stuff that goes with it.
Players don't care where it's located.
No, but I'm talking about
the visitors.
For people who grew up, and it's a different era. I'm a lot older than you guys, especially you.
Yeah, you are.
Right.
I'm older than you.
Especially me, too.
I'm not that much older than you. Let's not get crazy. But I'm older, and I can understand why people of late would just say because they haven't won anything. And I told you, 1973, but at one time it was a magical place where a lot of great things have happened. You go back to Willis Reed, and I'm talking, these are 70s. But there was a magic there. They used to beat the Lakers You know what I mean?
Man, that was almost 50
I'm
years
telling you, it's
ago.
from the 70s, not 50, 40
Here's
years
what
ago.
I'll give you.
But I'm going to tell you, though.
And Perk, you can say
Hey,
this
Rob,
as
look
a,
at my face.
I'm looking. I know. I understand.
as a guy that
You're not
played
talking
there
about
as a
Memphis,
visitor.
like Memphis, the
No,
FedEx
no.
Field and FedEx Stadium and all these other dumps all over the country. I don't care if they're brand new. They got nothing going. Oklahoma City.
Here's
what?
Oklahoma City's atmosphere is better than Madison Square Garden.
Please stop it.
Rob, right now, today it is.
The fans
Why?
are
Because
right.
they wear everybody wears the same color T-shirt.
No,
Here's
the
what-
fans are really, really loyal.
it's-
They ain't got nothing else to do there but
That-
eat
that-
Ritz.
whatever,
That's
whatever
all they got.
Here's
Kids,
to me. This is
movers
what,
and shakers are at the Knicks games.
This is the one thing that the Madison Square Garden has going for it. And you're right, they renovated it. It's not bad, but they
Not
got
bad.
rappers and celebrities and actors in the front rows.
Yes.
That's it though, right? That's because you can't that arena. You got all these state of the art arenas
That's
everywhere
not,
else.
Yeah, Rob. That's not. You can't.
What?
You cannot be biased, man.
I'm not. I'm giving it you.
Because I was like, so I never played in Madison Square Garden, right? So my first year in the league, I'm like, oh, we going to New York. I get to see Madison Square Garden, and I get there, and I'm like, what the hell?
Wait a minute. Did you ever play? Now you're too young. You didn't play in the old Boston Garden, did you?
No, I
No,
didn't.
no,
Okay.
no.
Chris.
Chicago's. Well, your point.
I'm asking you.
No, all those old legends. The Forum.
They want the Forum was a dump.
The Spectrum in
What?
Philadelphia,
Yes.
Boston
but-
Garden, Chicago. They were dumps.
But at the end of the
They
day,
were all dumps.
They was
I
dumps,
covered games
but
there.
They was dumps, but the Knicks cannot compare to the Lakers and
Right,
Celtics.
right.
They was
No,
dump-
not
they
winning
was
wise.
dump-
I give
no,
you
but
that.
I'm saying so they was winning in those dumps.
Yeah, but I'm saying those places.
Right, exactly.
They
At
was
least they
hanging-
were winning.
They was hanging banners
Right.
in those
Square
dumps.
What were they
was
doing
way
in
better
Madison
than
Square
that.
Garden? After 1973, they didn't win anything.
Yeah,
No, but
I
they
mean-
went to the
I mean-
finals. Come
I
on, they
mean,
win a
you-
couple
I mean,
times.
you know,
Don't act like
I
they
mean-
didn't go.
I mean, I know, Hov, Jay-Z put on some good concerts.
You know that.
Like, yeah, I know.
Right.
Come on, man.
Hey,
Ali Frazier.
right.
Ali Frazier.
The old Boston Garden, you know what they did once? But this was a story, it's a true story. They put down a new parquet floor, like the waxing over the top of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
After they,
Right.
and this was like after a game, and then let it dry to put the stuff down. The next morning they came out, and rats were stuck all on the floor, and they had to redo
Where-
it in
at the
Boston
Boston-
Garden, at the
really?
old Boston Garden. It was like rat
Wow.
infested. It was so bad. And the same thing, the old Chicago Stadium was a dump.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
Madison Square Garden has a lot more charm than that. I think you guys are selling it short. That's
yeah,
all.
Yeah, we are.
I had to push back. I'm from Jamaica, Queens.
Okay,
Just want you to know that.
So you meant your second choice was Brooklyn.
Right.
So
now that's a beautiful
tell me
arena.
about that. Why you think KD be a good fit there?
Well, I think because, it's great. I mean, new arena
Organization,
still,
right?
nice market to be in. Why not?
How's he gonna handle? Because we talked about KD being sensitive. He been going back and forth with me on Twitter and all that. And I got love for KD. Like I said, we got a love-hate relationship. But how do you think the New York media or any other place he may go, like that could be a problem for him is with the media? Just handling all the, the attention and stuff?
No, I don't think so. Because KD is more intelligent than what people give him credit for. So I don't think he's never been to a place where he had to deal with that type of media. So I don't know what to tell you because, playing in OKC, obviously small market,
Right.
then go to state, he don't have to do the media by himself. He got 4 other all-stars.
So that
to help
helps.
him. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how he handled it, but he's pretty strong.
I
man.
call him the Masot. We always talk about the GOAT. I call him the Masot.
Why is that?
Most sensitive of all time.
You
'Cause
think-
KD is way for a guy to be that big of a star? Seriously, like he's a great player,
Right.
making a ton of money. I don't know if he's still with Taylor Rooks, the girlfriend or whatever. He got a
Yeah.
beautiful girlfriend. He got everything going, and he's sitting worrying about tweeting some 25-year-old in his mom's basement who has 25 people on Twitter.
Listen,
like
but-
what is that?
But because listen, this is what y'all have to understand, right? So KD was in the shell for so long, and there's no knock on
In OKC?
Yes,
Okay.
because OKC, and it's not a knock on OKC because it's a first-class organization, but they mimic the Spurs. Sam Presti is from San Antonio. They mimic the Spurs, so they run an organization where it's team first, not too much. Like I done got called to Sam Presti office plenty of times about my Twitter, what I tweet.
Oh, really?
What my wife then tweeted out. You
Really?
know? Yes.
That wife get in trouble too?
Yeah, so it's more so the KD that we're seeing now is just a KD he's finally being let out. So he's able to be kind of,
KD.
Yeah, so it'll wear off pretty soon, but he's been so for how long he was in OKC? 9 years, 8 years?
Yeah, 9.
So for 9 years he kind of was, I don't want to say in a straight jacket, but you know what I mean. He was he couldn't be himself. So now he's able to speak out and do what he want to do. So this is why we seeing this KD.
But this is the only thing I don't understand. You know, as a guy, when you sign up to be a pro athlete, the media comes. It's a part of the job. Right. It really is. And I'm asking you as a former player. I don't understand why guys don't get it. They think that when they push back, it's against us. It's not really against us. We're just a conduit between the player and the fan.
Right.
So that's a disrespect of the fan when they don't want to talk. They think that we really care. We don't care.
Right.
We're there to do our jobs.
Absolutely.
And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
really, you're not hurting me by not talking, but your fans out there that want to hear from you,
Absolutely.
You're doing that to them, not to us. And I don't understand.
And
I'm not saying that you got to agree. If you come out to your locker and talk for 2 minutes or 3 minutes and say, man, that was a bad game, put it on me or whatever, and you're done, I'm fine with that.
And I agree with you because this one thing that, you know, as being an NBA player or being a celebrity, it's certain things that you sign. This is what you signed up for.
Right.
So, for example, when I leave out my room, my house, or whatever the case may be, it's certain people that may say, "Oh, that's Kendrick Perkins. Can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph?" I know this.
You
coming.
understand that?
I know this before I leave the house, so I'm already mentally prepared for anything that's about to come my way before I leave the house. And I think a lot of guys need to start approaching it that way, even with the media. Like, you got to expect this. You got to take
arguably the best player in the world.
Right. And you know what? Kevin Garnett told me something way long time ago. He was like, when you have a good game and you go read the newspaper articles and you ready to address the media, the same way when you have a bad game, make sure you keep that same energy.
No doubt about it.
And
That's a great point.
And he told me that just like that. And he told me and Rondo that. He was like, you got hear the good, just like you could hear the good and take that, hear the bad and accept it and bounce back from it.
All right, we got more coming up with NBA champion Kendrick Perkins. Keep it locked with Fox Sports Radio and The Odd Couple.
Hey.
All right, Perk, we got about 4 minutes,
Yes,
three and a half minutes.
Okay.
You've been comparing, maybe that's strong, but Kawhi Leonard to Michael Jordan. Talk about that.
Well, I watched Kawhi play, and his game mimics Michael Jordan. I'm not saying he is Jordan. He don't have the jelly that Michael Jordan has. He's a more stiffer Michael Jordan.
Right, the grace, movement.
But if you watch him, his game simulates. He gets one dribble pull-ups, the way he palms the ball, dunks the ball, his fadeaways, his turnarounds.
Right.
And guess what? His favorite player growing up was Michael Jordan.
I got to admit, I think it's a good comparison. Like you said, we're not saying he's as good as Jordan.
No, but I know what you're saying.
And not even that he moved. Like Kobe obviously moved more like Jordan.
Kobe,
he had the wiggle.
You want to talk about was like a clone. I mean,
right.
with everything, the way, and you could close your eyes, hear a sound clip of Jordan and Kobe, and you can't tell which one was.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's how much.
But where I get what you're saying, see, Jordan didn't dominate the ball like a lot of the guys today.
Right.
He didn't over dribble. Like you said, it was one step pull up, 2 dribbles. And Kawhi does that.
Right.
Kawhi doesn't over dribble, doesn't dominate the ball for the most part. And that's where, and then you said the shot selection, the mid-range stuff and all that.
Getting to his spots real strong and pulling up. And even his form, I mean, and there's certain times at the top of the key, you'll see Kawhi go between his legs a little bit now.
Right.
But he's just a stiffer mimic of Michael Jordan to me, just simulating his game. Not saying he is MJ.
Who do you think is the best player in the world right now?
To me,
why you use right now? Every time I say that, he jumps on me. What do you mean right now?
His right now be like 2 hours.
No, right now in today's, I think Kevin Durant is the best. Because listen to this, Kevin Durant is the best player in the world. Because if I'm a GM, right, and I have a choice to start a team, and I'm picking one player today, right now, age matters and everything.
Okay.
Who are you picking? to start your team.
You know who's in that conversation, and I don't think he's the best player in the world right now. I'm not gonna say now, but
Who?
Steph Curry got to be in that
Oh,
conversation. Hold on, Steph Curry has to
Did
be.
you watch him in the
if I'm
first
starting
round?
the team,
Let me ask you a question.
it might be KD, but he in the conversation.
Okay,
That's
he's
all
in
I'm
the
saying.
conversation. But I'm gonna ask you this: you could move KD and go put him on Chicago Bulls, right? This Chicago Bulls team of this year,
Right.
They'll make the playoffs, right?
Yep.
And what seed would they be? A top 5 seed, maybe?
Yeah,
Even high?
I give him that.
I say
Okay.
top 4.
In the
Right.
East, yeah.
If you take Steph and put him on the Chicago team, what would they be?
I give you that with Steph. You probably gonna change.
Steph
the
has
system. You have to
everything
be able to
around
change.
him.
But they built that around him.
No,
Right.
but I'm just saying.
Like he was effective before that. But I give you,
You
that.
see what I'm saying?
I give
you
you
can
that.
take
You
KD
gonna have
right
to put
now
a
and go
system
put
on
him with any ball club, and he's going to change that ball club
Right.
instantly.
last
Right.
thing. You in the Eastern Conference, who you got?
Eastern-
It's 2-2, right?
I got Toronto.
So you got Toronto
I'm,
winning.
I'm going with experience.
Y'all both wrong.
I'm with you. I think experience matters.
Who you got, Chris?
I picked Milwaukee.
He's just a-
I picked Milwaukee.
He's a Milwaukee Bucks slappy. He has been all year.
Stop
Just
it.
about.
I actually picked Toronto before the playoffs began because of the experience factor.
And then he told me
But
last
then
night
I
that they were
thought
going to lose,
Milwaukee-
right? Remember you said Milwaukee?
Look, Milwaukee is looking shaky right now. There's no question. So
That was a
like
bad
you said,
loss
Game
last
5
night.
is huge.
I can't wait
Game
to
5
see
winner
it.
probably gonna win the series.
I can't wait to see.
Well,
it.
we appreciate you
No, I
coming through,
appreciate.
man.
I had a
Awesome,
blast. I
man.
appreciate you.
Thanks
Chris
for
and
bringing
Rob.
your
Awesome
beautiful
job.
wife in
Yes,
as well.
yes. Nice to meet you. You from Beaumont, Texas as well?
Port Arthur. We've been together for 18 years
Wow.
since the 10th grade.
That's
That's
beautiful,
unbelievable.
man. That's
She been
beautiful.
putting up with me for that long.